Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is for you. Welcome back to a Division 2 video. And yes sir, today we're gonna talk about the best SMGs in the game. The best to use SMGs now with TU24. As every single update there are a few changes. Overall, not much has changed between TU23 and TU24, but I got a lot of questions. What is the best SMG out there? What's the best AR out there? We already talked about all the best ARs, and today we're gonna talk about SMGs. And this is the top 5 of best in slot SMGs for the high-end weapons. Just like the ARs, we go over the base damage, the RPM, the mag size, the reload speed, the burst DPS, and the percentages. Because the Tactical Vector 9mm is the best high-end SMG out there, that will then be, of course, 100% of the damage, and then all of the other damages are calculated towards that 100% of the Tactical Vector. So as you can see, number 2, the SMG-9, is only 0.2% away of the best SMG in the game, the Tactical Vector. On the third place we have the Vector 9mm with almost 3% difference. Then we have the M1928 with 3.2% difference. And then at last we have the SMG 9A2. That almost goes to 4% difference versus the Tactical Vector. But just like with the ARs, we see a couple of minus mods in there. The SMG-9 is now the better choice to go for the SMG-9A2. Even though we have one minus mod, the SMG-9 will still outperform the SMG-9A2 even with that one mod slot less. But for the M1928, we can just scrap this because it's -3 mods. It hits like a truck, but I wouldn't prefer to play with it. So then it changes around. When we remove the M1928, this will be my top 5. And then we're adding that extra Vector .45 to it. That has around a 5.5% difference versus the Tactical Vector 9mm. The Vector .45 is also the Vector that is on the Dark Winner. And I noticed a lot of questions underneath my video last week about the ARs. In where do the exotics land and where do the named items land, because all of these calculations is all without a build, is all without a talent. So now we will go into some comparison between exotics and the high hand on a build. And let's take the fan favorite Backfire for now. Let's put that on the number 1 spot. And if you look at the Backfire on a striker build with Hasbro on there, expertise level 30, you will be 1.7% stronger than the Tactical Vector 9mm with Killer active. But the big thing is this is with the talent active on 100 stacks. For Killer, your air quote only have to take out somebody to get that talent activated for you. Those 100 stacks of the Backfire won't always be there. You can run up to somebody with an ACS 12, stack up your striker, switch over to the Tactical Vector, take somebody out and get those damages out quicker. You can't really do that with the Backfire. When you run up to somebody, you get that ACS 12 out, you switch over to your Backfire, you still need to get those stacks in. Yes, striker stacks as well, Backfire stacks. So whenever you're stacking your striker, you're probably also stacking your Backfire. But don't forget, this is with 100 stacks active, and you don't always have that active. The moment that you don't have 100 stacks active, it will already fall off quite a lot. And that's why high ends are most of the time the better choice to go for, because that talent is easier to activate and or will almost always be active and not asking you to be at a certain stacks. Just like if we're looking at the cheddar box, this is only 2.7% away from the Backfire on 100 stacks, but this is on 3 stacks. The moment that you hit your cheddar box on 5 stacks, it is hands down the best SMG in the game with the best damage output. But again, we need to hit those stacks. It is very situational. You really need to know how to play with that chatterbox to definitely make it work. And you need to be on those stacks, or else every other high-end SMG will beat out the backfire, or like we're now talking about, the chatterbox. Same as for the dark winner, the Vector .45. A lot of people still like to play with it, and it's still a good gun, don't get me wrong, but the tactical Vector 9mm with normal killer active will beat out the Vector .45, aka the dark winner. It is not that much of a difference, right? It's only 1.2% difference between the tactical Vector 9mm and the dark winner, but still, the tactical Vector 9mm will outperform the dark winner. It might take a little bit to farm it, but yes, tactical Vector 9mm with normal killer active is better than the Vector .45 dark winner with perfect killer active. Then, of course, going over to the last one on this list, and don't forget, this is a comparison against the backfire. This is not showing you that the backfire is the best SMG in the game when on 100 stacks. This is, of course, also on a Hasbro striker build. If you put the backfire without Hasbro, you can do even more damages. I will leave the full spreadsheets down below so you can scroll through it and see for yourself where your favorite weapon lands with or without a talent active. But the Lady Death active, we of course have a little bit more RPMs because we're running around with striker, and this is 3.25% away from the max damage of the backfire, but still very, very close to the tactical Vector 9mm with killer and the dark winner with perfect killer active. If we compare it to the tactical Vector 9mm, it is around that 1.5% difference. So tactical Vector 9mm with killer will outperform the Lady Death even with that 75% amplified bullets active in your magazine. Same as for the dark winner, but that's a little bit closer together. As you can see, it's only around 0.4% difference. So the dark winner versus the Lady Death is a very, very close call, but still the dark winner with perfect killer active will outperform the Lady Death with, of course, the talent Breathe Free active. And that's pretty much it. A little bit more information because I wanted to dive into the comparison against the fan favorites on the SMG category within exotics. And of course, like I already mentioned, I will leave the whole list in the descriptions down below. Again, a huge shout out to IKEA, the man, the myth, the spreadsheet himself made this again. All of those spreadsheets are made by IKEA. So again, a huge shout out. I used all his calculations to set up these charts. So again, GG's, my guy. You are always on point, updating this every single time. But now I want to know what type of SMG you play with. What do you like to play with and what are the talents that you like to play with? The 3 top damage talents in the game at the moment is Killer on number 1, Streamline on number 2 and Measured on number 3. Streamline is of course a question because you can't have your skills on cooldown, and for me, for example, Measured won't be the best choice because I reload out of myself. So I almost always go for Killer. And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for sticking until the end. Like the video if you liked the video or helped you out in any way or form. And of course, if you're new here and or you want to be updated by the Division 2, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And I will see you in the next one. Pure Prime out.